What's up, guys? Jason Payne, your host of the Sexy Business Status Podcast. I'm your host, and I am here today. This one's gonna be crazy. We got an out of stater. Most of my peeps are in state. Most of them are locals, but I gotta go New Jersey, right?
New Jersey and Florida. Yep.
Don't mess it up. So Dan Sachkowsky, mutual buddy. He knows my friend Hannah and Michael Burnout and a handful of other random guys. But I wanted to bring him on. I stalked your Instagram a little bit, right? And what you do, a lot of similarities, a lot of the same morals and values and what we're doing. Just different sides of the country. That's all. That's the only difference. So thanks for flying in, by the way.
Yeah, appreciate
it. Coming, dropping some heat with us. So my audience, those that are watching, most of them male, small business owners, blue collar.
Perfect.
25 to 40.
Perfect.
45.
Perfect. My ideal coaching clients. That's what I coach. So I could talk to you guys all day.
There you go. Love it. So we're gonna rip. So one of my biggest things is what I absolutely hate when it comes to podcasts and conferences and events and stuff like that is most people talk about money, but they don't talk about personal development. They don't talk about fitness. They don't talk about spouse. They don't talk about kids, and they don't talk about like you in your relationship with God. And it drives me nuts. So that's literally what this podcast is intended for, is to hit all those categories. And depending on how it goes and whatnot, I want people to know that like we're all going through shit.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's, you and your wife are just stuck in a hard place, right?
No wife.
No wife, no kiddos.
No, I have 3 kids.
Divorced. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing, like how many, 51%. So statistically, 50% of the people watching are divorced.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like I was divorced.
And
I don't know how long ago.
50% of them that aren't are getting divorced.
Yeah, and those that you haven't been divorced, like your time will come.
It's coming. Yeah.
Right. So those type of things, because doing that, man, you still got to get up, still got to grind it out. And like I said, then you got 3 kiddos you're dealing with, and you're dealing with an ex, and you still got to show up. You still got to show up for your team. Got to show up for your kiddos. Split home, all that kind of stuff. Like the battle and the struggle. It's real, bro.
Yeah,
it's a real thing. So I'm going to start this. I've never done this before, but I'm going to start with this. And Daniel's be like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm going to start with the question: how, if you had to describe yourself in one word, not one phrase, one word, what would it be?
Relentless.
One of my favorite words. That's a Tim Grover word. Why relentless?
Because everything I've been through in life has taken me to the next level, and I haven't allowed it to paralyze me. So I was a pro bodybuilder at a young age, and a business owner at a young age, and I understood and trusted resilience and resistance, and understood that they work together. And no matter where you're trying to go in life, you got to go through the pain. You're going to suffer that pain, and most people who never make it live in regret. And I come from a family that never fulfilled their dreams. They just kind of conditioned themselves to be normal and below average.
Sure.
And that just wasn't the lifestyle I wanted.
So you didn't come from the golden house with everybody checking the boxes and doing the thing. And
no, I grew up in the projects, and then we moved
in Jersey.
In Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we moved to the suburbs when I was like 14.
Okay.
My parents couldn't afford it.
Was that an upgrade?
It was an upgrade in a way. We lived in an apartment. We were apartment hopping most of our life. Moved to the suburbs, got a house, but my grandparents and my uncle moved into a 3-bedroom house.
So you're stacked.
Yeah. Okay. Same problem, bigger place.
Same problem, bigger place. Okay. So, because a lot of those listening, I didn't come from that. I came from the dream part. Different struggles, right? But I grew up like rice and beans and stacking family members on top of each other. That wasn't that. I was blessed enough to not have to play that card. Some of them it's a gift, not a burden, right?
Yeah.
How do you go from that and all the scarcity mindset, the short-mindedness of you and your family and what you grew up in to where you are now? What switched, or what light turned on to where you're like, I don't want this lifestyle. I don't want to do this anymore. I want something else, and I'm going to make take these actions, right? 'Cause talk. Like, what did you do to get out of that? Because most people, they stay in that hamster wheel, and that's just they label themselves there, and they stay there forever, and they never get out.
Yeah.
What did you do to pull yourself
I was
out?
very aware at a young age. I didn't realize that my dad's personal trauma and challenging childhood, which turned him into father he was the gift of giving me who I am today. Meaning, my dad didn't know how to be my dad. I searched for validation and I wanted him to just believe in me for many, many years. I was a heavy kid. He called me Danny Gordo, like Fat Dan. So he started labeling me at a young age. And, it becomes uncomfortable at a point where it's no longer a joke. And now you look at yourself in a mirror and like, hey, I'm just a fat kid. I'm just a fat kid. That's all I am.
Labeling.
Okay. So I kind of stopped trusting and listening to my father around 13 years old.
That's early.
Yeah.
It's way early. That's
7 years old.
Freshman in high school?
Freshman year.
Okay.
So 7 years old, he started calling me this all the way till I was 13. I started playing football and, trying to better myself, but I was just never good enough. 14 years old, we drive past Bon Jovi's house in Jersey. I've never seen houses this big. I don't know,
Like the guitar player?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And we passed his house and I'm like, what is that? Like, I thought it was a store or something. Like, I didn't know houses could be that big.
Sure.
And that day he said, those are rich people, will never be rich. So the way that he raised me, then the automatic shutdown on a question just came to, hey, this is it. No, not happening. I was like, how do you trust somebody who doesn't trust themselves? Meanwhile, we're driving around in an Aerostar Ford van. That was 3 colors. I always play a joke. Like, it was light brown, dark brown, and rust. Rust being a majority.
Yeah.
So like.
And not a color, actual piece.
Actual piece.
Actual metal. Yeah.
So I just kind of just gave up. And believe it or not, that weekend, I'm riding around my town, garage sale pops up. So I was fat. Yeah, I used to steal money from my parents to buy ice cream. So took $1 out of the draw to go buy ice cream at a local store.
Sure.
Past a garage sale, and they were packing up. And I'm always curious what's going on here. What do they have? Baseball cards? Check it out. There was a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Ha!
It was sitting there, and they were wrapping up, and there was a circle sticker on it, and it said $1. 1 with a dash, so it was $1. So I said, how much is this book? Like, I knew how much it was because I could read it.
Sure.
But they're like, oh, okay, we're just cleaning up. Take it. We're going to throw it away anyway.
You saved your $1 for your ice cream.
Right. I got my ice cream. So I had the best of both worlds. So I go get my ice cream. So I sit on the curb. I open up the book. Yeah. I don't even know where to start. It's the first time trying to read that book, like, for the first couple of weeks is very challenging. Because, dude, I was dyslexic. Like, ADD, I just didn't care. I didn't pay attention in school. Then one day I just finally said, you know what, I'm just going to read this thing. And it was like a Saturday. Bro, I cover to cover read that thing on a Saturday.
Whole thing?
The whole thing.
And you didn't like to read, sucked at school.
But it just brought me in, and I just was not having a good day. It was raining. I couldn't go outside. There was nothing to do. So I literally just sat there, and I read it. Like, where I would have been to the refrigerator 5-6 times, an hour, I literally sat in my room and read the book till it was over. After I read that book, I kind of thought it was fake. It just can't be real.
Well, especially from your upbringing with the programming.
How do you find this guy?
Programming is one of my favorite words too. Like that. So you go from the conditioning, the grooming, all those synonyms, right? Like, you're programmed to be like you can't have that house. Like, it's not something you'll ever touch or believe in. And so you got that. So you saw the house, but now you read the book.
Yeah.
There ain't much difference than like it's a fake book. That kind of stuff doesn't exist, right?
Until a year later. I forgot about the book, and I met my rich dad a year later.
Okay,
so
who was it?
It was a job. My guy. So I was now at this time I'm a junior in high school. I've given up in school. I don't even want to do school, so I'm like, can I do a trade or something? All right, we'll put you in carpentry because I like working with wood shop. Can I just work? Yeah, we'll get you a co-op. You can go to work. You go to school for a couple hours and you go to work for the rest of the day, and it counts as credits. Cool.
Done.
So I go to work, meet this guy, Dave. He's a contractor, builds houses. Spent a week with him. That first week, Monday through Friday. Friday, he asked me, hey, what are you doing tomorrow, Saturday? I don't know. he goes, you want to come to my house and make some extra cash and clean up? You have any of your friends want to come up? He wanted us to rake the leaves, spring cleaning, whatever,
Sure.
fall cleaning, whatever it was. And I said, sure. I got a bunch of friends. He goes, bring as many as you want. I got a big house, big yard. All right. Bro, I was so embarrassed. The next day, 5 guys said they were coming. 1 kid answered the phone. Only 2 of us showed up. But he was happy 2 of us showed up. So before we did it.
That's a lesson in and of itself, by the way.
Of course. That's
Show up,
that's
bro.
when we realize that people, you know what I mean? Number 1, aren't a man of their word. And number 2, aren't reliable. And
They're just pussies.
you just can't depend on anybody at this point.
It's hard. Sure.
But if we were going to a concert doing something else, oh shit, they would have been on. But work, forget about it.
Yeah.
So before we started, he's got this 5,000 square foot house we roll up to. Dude, I'm coming from
500.
1,800 square foot
Sure.
house.
Yeah.
And we pull up to this house, and he goes, oh, let me just show you around before you guys start. Above his garage, 3-car garage, he's got a man cave up there with a bar, pool table, arcades, all this stuff, his basement, movie theater, all this stuff. I'm like, bro, this is nuts. All right, hey guys, let's go run to the bakery, grab a bite to eat before we start. I need my coffee. Pull into the bakery. He drives us there.
What was he driving?
I pick up, but a nice pickup back
Yeah.
then. And his wife had I don't back then there wasn't like Escalades and stuff like that. You
Sure,
know what I
sure.
mean? Whatever it was. Probably a souped up minivan, who knows. But we go to the bakery,
Okay.
we pull in, and I get a butter roll and a hot chocolate. I'm not drinking coffee yet. There's a round table with a bunch of super successful looking guys. And they're all like, hey Dave. And he goes to this bakery every Saturday morning and they sit at this round table for about an hour and have their coffee and just bullshit. They pull up a chair for us, and all of us are telling us, while Dave's paying for our stuff, how lucky we are to be around Dave. How did you meet Dave? How do you know Dave? And we sat there for an hour, and all these guys were talking about business. They were talking about, the different things that they were doing. And I just remember, if I was at a family reunion or everyone's complaining,
Yeah.
and wherever you go, and there's a group of people are always talking about other people. These guys are talking about ideas. So by the end of that day,
So light bulb, aha moment.
at the end of that day, I was like, dude, I'm going to come back here every weekend and I'll work for free because I need to pick this guy's brain.
Get in the circle, get in the room.
So he became
Okay.
my mentor and worked for him for the next 2 years. And it was a pivotal moment. About 2 years into it, we're sitting there and we're at lunch. We're building a house. And he said, hey, how's your day going? I go, can I just be honest with you? Can I tell you something? I said, I don't know what you've done to me, but you've created something in my mind that I've never saw before. And when I grow up, I want to be just like you. He goes, when you grow up, you need to be just like you. I said, well, I want this. I want what you have. He goes, you're going to get it, and I believe in you. And I feel like I froze for a minute. Like no one's ever said that to me. You believe in me? And that was like the magic moment. It was history.
Game over.
That's it.
So a guy took a chance on you.
Yeah. And then
Right.
I waited probably another month. And I come back to him. I said, hey, Dave, I'm going to start my own company.
And what did he say?
17 years old. Excited and nervous at the same time. He's like, doing what? I said, doing this. He goes, you're not ready. I said, but you told me you believed in me. He goes, I believe you'll do it, but you're not ready.
In time, overtime.
But you've already told me you believed in me, dude. My tank is full. I didn't hear you're not ready. I was ready to go.
Sure.
So the one thing I did was I just went for it. And I kind of cut him off because he was trying to pre-warn me. Like, Dan, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I was like, I got this.
Sure.
And I just went for it.
At 17,
17.
senior in high school.
Yeah.
So worked for him for 2 years. You had that aha moment. And how long did you last? Another.
I went 7 more years. I went on my own business. We did 10 million. I made 4 million net by the time I was 24.
You netted $4 million
I had
at 24 years old.
I had a 5,000 square foot house. Had a house in Cabo, Mexico. Had the Escalades. Had the Benzes. Had everything. My neighbor's kids were older than me living at home, and I had my own house, and I had a kid. Thought I was a drug dealer. But I chased.
You're in Jersey, yes.
I chased what my dad told me wasn't possible. I chased rich. Because during that time growing up, I'm not sure how old you are, I'm 45, but
39.
during that time growing up, there was something on TV called MTV Cribs.
Yep.
and the rich lifestyles of rich and famous.
Yep.
So they identified wealth as stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, if I have all this stuff, I'm rich. I'm going to be categorized as those guys.
Sure.
And I had all that stuff, but I was still empty because I was chasing that validation that I never got as a kid. I was chasing fulfillment, and money was my main motivator.
Dead inside.
Dead. I lost it all. Went bankrupt. 2007.
What? Crash?
Well, so everyone says the economy crashed and forced many people to die out. I think the economy crashed and took out who wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared because I was never financially educated on money, saving it. I just knew how to make it and spend it.
Right.
And I was never working in a bad time. There was never a downturn. From the minute I got in business to the minute business shut down, we were always making money till the phone stopped ringing.
Right.
So I wasn't financially educated. But how do people become rich in the downfall? Because they prepare for it. I was unprepared.
Yeah. Living below your means, being smart.
Yep. Just have it all.
Diversification. So, get your trash kicked. How old are you at 2007?
24.
24. So, just phone call stop, work stops, money stops flowing in.
I went through about $500,000 in my safe to try to keep the company alive for like, you know how fast $500,000 goes, like 3 months. You know what I mean? When you're doing that kind of business.
Yep.
And I'm just like, we got a couple $100,000 left. We need to make a decision because this shit's not coming back. It's going fast.
Yeah.
And it was a hard decision.
Married?
I was not married, but I had 2 kids.
2 kids? Okay.
Yeah. We had a house. She had a job. And I was stuck. Dude, our bills were $20,000 a month at that age. That's a lot.
At 24?
Yeah. I mean,
it's wild.
$6,000 mortgage at 24. You know? I mean, people can't pay you a $600 rent. And I just had to make a decision.
I was making $14 an hour at 22, 23 years old.
I never had a job except for Boston Market for 3 days and the 2 years with Dave.
So, those listening, they get their teeth kicked in, right? Yours happened to be the, 06 to 08 era. Some of them don't go through something that extreme and they still get their teeth kicked in, right? Buying stupid stuff, overspending, not watching their P&Ls, not watching their cash flow, not auditing themselves or whatnot. What did you feel when
I felt like my whole life just got destroyed? You spend your entire business career from the beginning to 7 years later building this dream that you have to find out it's now your biggest nightmare. And every single time life happened to me, someone said something to me. And I had a choice. Move forward or listen. Move forward or listen. Dave, I didn't listen.
Right.
I moved forward.
I got this, Dave.
Yeah. When I went to my bankruptcy attorney, I said, I can't believe I'm doing this. Are you sure? Like, this is the only thing I can do? He goes, how are you going to pay your debt? He goes, but let me tell you something, son. He's 50-something years old. I'm like his kid.
Sure.
He goes, number one, you're the youngest guy who's ever walked into my office and done what you've done at your age. So number one, you've proved that you can do it. Number two, if you've done it once, the second time is going to be easier. Just don't make the same mistake. He goes, let me wipe it clean and just go do it all over again. So, you still drive home. Yeah, he's saying this. He's a lawyer. He's saying what he's got to say, whatever.
Yeah. Sounds easy.
Yeah. I drive home, open my front door. My 2 kids open the door. They come running at me. They want a hug. They're happy I'm home. Nothing mattered at that point. Because everything I worried about leaving was more important to me than what I had living. So a lot of times in life, what I find now, 40-something years old, many businesses later, talking to all you business owners out there. Business owners, if you go, hey, why are you doing this? Well, I want to provide a better life for my family. I'm doing it for my kids. I'm doing it for that. I call bullshit on most of them because I was just like them.
Sure.
You're out there working your ass off, doing what you can because you want status. because you want stuff, because you want things, because you want people to look at you like you're a big deal.
Ego.
And then what do your kids get left? When you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you're not around. So who are you really doing it for? I was doing it for me. I could have said I was doing it for my kids all day long, but I'd be lying.
Sure.
So until you realize that you are not a big deal and people don't really care what you have or don't have, especially the ones that are supposed to love you and you're supposed to love them, nothing's going to change in your life. That's when you're going to get your teeth kicked in. That's when you're going to drop on the floor. So you've got to put your pride in your back pocket. You know, ego will destroy you every single day of the week. So too many people get involved in business because they want to make money, they want to be rich, they want to be their own boss, they want time freedom.
Make their own decisions.
Yeah. But if you're not ready for what business has to give, business isn't a job. You want an easy life, have a job.
Yeah.
You want a tough life, own a business. But you have an opportunity to have a really, really good life and leave something really, really big if you use the opportunity for what it's worth.
So, crawling out of the hole, 2007, hit rock bottom, go to your attorney, do all that. What is the next?
So my ex-wife,
years
she wasn't my wife at the time, but she had a good job. She was making like 100 G's a year. So she still had her job. We had a nanny raising our kids. Set the fire with the nanny. I had to become the nanny for a little bit. You know, take care of the kids, do what I had to do.
How humbling was that?
I loved it because I had to stay home. She hated it because I was home and she was working. She was now supporting me. So a lot of tension rose at that
I was
point.
like, animosity, resentment, there has to be.
A ton of it.
Sure.
And that was the downfall of us. Because I built this extravagant life and all of a sudden I just took it away.
Poof.
Yep. So I would say probably for about a month and a half, I was sitting there doing my thing and not knowing what I was going to do next. I couldn't do. All I knew was construction. What am I going to? I'm not going to get a job. Like there comes a point in your life where like I'm not getting a job. Yeah. You know we should probably get a job. This is where I'm not getting a job.
State Farm. Like I'm good.
So a friend of mine who was a concrete contractor went out of business as well. He keeps calling me and calling me and calling me, and he's like, "Hey, bro, we can get paid every time the phone rings." I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" He introduced me to a network marketing deal. So I blew him off about 7 times. He said, "Listen, just come. If you come, I'll never call you again. Just come." All right, I'll go. So I went to the meeting. There was a guy standing in front of the room making, I don't know, 30, 35 grand a month. He said that like the first 5 minutes. I have no idea what he said for the next 45. Because I just sat there like, if I can make 35 grand a month, my family would be safe, I'd be good. So at the end of the meeting, I go, "What do I need to do?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "I need to make 35 grand. He goes, "Put people in front of it." I had no idea what the business was. I said, "How many people you want?" He goes, "As many as you can." I said, "Dude, I'll put 100 people in a room. You just tell me what to do, when to do it." He goes, "You put 100 people in a room, me and my brother both come." I said, "Done." What day? Whatever day it was. So I pulled a meeting. I had like 78 people showed up. How do you have 78 people showing up to your house? I go, people respect me for what I did. I've got all these people in business who are failing right now. They need an opportunity. So
Desperate.
I put people there.
Sure.
So still not understanding what I was doing. Ignorance on fire. I made $6,600 in 30 days. This is cool.
All right.
About 20 something grand by the 3rd month. I'm on to something here. So I just kept building that company and made a few $1,000,000 in that company over the next 5 years. It wasn't really what I wanted to do, but it's what I had to do.
Sure.
Hopped around for a couple different companies for like 7 years. Did like 4 or 5 million. Success Magazine, top earner. People go, "How do you go from that to that?" I go, "Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it." You know, and that's how I made it in construction. I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't try to become an expert before I went to work. I just did the deal and did the thing.
Trying to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I said, "You know what? I'm going to get back in construction." And this was like Hurricane Sandy time, 2012. So every time there's a natural disaster anywhere in the world, that's an opportunity to make a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. So that's what I did. I got back in construction. I built some companies, sold some companies, but I realized something in that network marketing business. Accountability, leadership, and structure all work together. And we had systems. I built systems. I built the way people need to call people, follow up with people. I did all this. I didn't do that in my first company. You didn't have to. Money was just flowing in.
Right.
So I said, if I build these next companies moving
Well, how much
forward,
money did you? How much I call it lost opportunity, right? How much money was coming in, but you lost.
No
but
idea.
It was so much coming in, you couldn't even see the loss.
you had no idea because you didn't care because it was just overflow.
Yeah.
You know, it was like you owned a casino. It's just like, just keep coming.
Bro, like I got the whole plate. Like a couple meatballs fall off. Who cares? I got the whole plate. You're good.
Exactly. But when you get involved with something that there's numbers involved, you know how many people are coming in, this many people come in, you'll make this much money, and you really start dialing it in, it changes the whole game of business. So I understood processes, systems need to be involved. And there was no CRMs back there. This was all like paper trail, Excel spreadsheets, and all this kind of stuff. But it worked. And you were able to track things and profit and losses. That first company I had, bro, was like 80% cash. People paid cash back then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're doing millions of dollars in cash. 2012, you weren't paying cash with government funds.
Right.
So you really got to figure out where your money's going.
Yeah.
So that's the road I went down, and built some companies, bought some bad businesses. You know how it is. Like, oh, someone's selling their business, you buy it, it's a bad business. You do all this kind of stuff. So you have your ups and downs, throughout the cycle. But you just got to keep going. And fast forward 4 years ago, this August will be 4 years ago, I had a heart attack. Changed the way I looked at everything. Went through a divorce, went through a whole bunch of stuff. But this was the worst time of my life.
4 years ago.
This August 3rd, in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
will be 4 years.
What were you doing, if anything, to make it to cause the heart attack?
Well, I bodybuilded for a long time. I abused steroids for 20 some odd years. I destroyed my body. Nobody told me what was going to happen if I kept doing this stuff. You just kept doing it because it's just what you do.
Sure.
I had high blood pressure. I would avoid taking my medicine. I didn't care. I'm fine. I'm young. Nothing's going to happen. And that shit catches up, dude.
Sure.
It's like everything else. We put things off, and we always put the important things off. But the number one thing that most people put off is their health. But that's the most important thing that we have to value, that we value the least. And that day it came to me. And I literally thought I died.
3 kids?
3 kids. 21 now, 20 and 16.
So they were teenagers then.
My one son wasn't talking to me already for a year and a half after the divorce. That was the hardest point of that. Texting your kids, imagine texting your kids and saying, hey, sorry I fell short as a father. And texting your other son like, I just wish I could say goodbye to you because I'll never see you again and never talk to you. And this is not the way I want to end our relationship. Imagine that. And then you just black out and you think it's over. Then you wake up in the hospital. Between that time I blacked out and the time I woke up in the hospital, I felt like I had a God moment. Like I felt like I talked to him. And I'm like, bro, I can't go. Like,
what did he tell you?
He said, how many times do I have to show you? I didn't know what he meant. So I kept asking and I dug deeper. And he's like, I've taught you how to use discipline at its highest levels. But the problem is everything I teach you, you keep to yourself. Everything I show you, you need to share with other people. And until you do that, you're going to be empty for the rest of your life. So at that point, I realized if I died that day, you talk to my kids 10 years from that day, what legacy did I build? Nothing. I made a whole bunch of money, but did nothing for nobody else.
Right.
How is legacy formed? Based on conversations in the future, because of you, this happened. Because of him, that happened. Because you made an impact in other people's lives, not your own, your family is affected and impacted in a major way. Now is my time. So that's where all stemmed from.
That's awesome. So I remember some of the Bible, the parable of the talents, right?
Yeah.
5, 2, and 1. 5 doubles, 2 doubles, 1 buries it, right? Scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
A lot of definition of, come back like, hey, like what'd you do? Is like, I hit it. What the hell are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy where so my parents were givers and servers from day one. So I grew up with amazing work ethic, but amazing serving ethic too. My parents beat it into me in a good way. Like anytime grandma crossing the street, groceries, that kind of stuff. cutting grass. I can't tell you how many hundreds of hours of cutting grass of random, cutting down trees, landscaping, that kind of stuff. Bales of hay, whatever, for people, just helping them out, And I still do it to this day. I have an enclosed trailer, and when you pulled up, saying there's a 20-foot enclosed trailer with my logo on it. That trailer is literally just cooking equipment. I don't cook unless I'm serving. It's all for fun. Yeah. I've never charged anybody $1 to cook, ever. Yeah. So church, schools, police, veterans. During COVID, when things shut down, nurses, we'd go to hospitals, be all in their freaking hazmat suits and all that crap. Nurses getting their trash kicked, go feed, hospitals, all the nurses and stuff at the hospitals. Like, dude, it's cool. Like making an impact, because I remember, I forgot who said it, but like the only two things you can take with you after this life are relationships and experiences. Yeah. Well, and wisdom, technically. So, but like, dude, like those type of things, like
the wisdom you leave to others, no?
Yeah.
Because you've taught a big lesson, and that lesson will move on.
Well, it's like, and just like you said, having that selflessness, like Dave was selfless. So you were able to, at that time, you were being selfish. Mm-hmm. What can I do? Not like, hey, how can I help Dave? You're like, screw Dave. Like, you're going to give me money? I'll come work for you. You're not giving me money, I'm out. Yeah. And right. So you flip it.
Exactly.
So Dave was selfless, right? Yeah. And then you go to, the book, right? He didn't have to, he didn't have to write that book. How many millions of lives has he changed, and generational wealth, and breaking generational curses from writing one book. Yeah. Right. So let me ask you this. So you're obviously a ripped dude. You talked about how, I forgot what the phrase is, something like, health isn't the most important thing until it's the only thing.
Until it's the most important thing.
Until it's the most important, like it's, you were chunky and heavier.
Just as a kid, though.
As a kid?
Yeah. So, like, in my late teens, I started getting into bodybuilding world and competitive. And even though
high school, you flipped it.
Yeah. But even though I had the heart attack, I was still in good shape.
Yeah.
I just wasn't taking care of myself.
Sure.
I just wasn't taking my medication and doing that kind of stuff. And I was still doing, juice at the more milligrams that I shouldn't be doing.
Sure. Well, what does that look like? So, example... you have the peptides and all that stuff going on. But in the blue collar space, you and I both know this, it is probably, if not one of the most neglected things. It's got to be top one or two. Apart from neglecting your family, like your health is one or two. Yeah. Because it's the easiest thing, because you can still make a shit ton of money and be 300 pounds.
But what I saw, so Dave was always a good looking guy. He was fit. I was always fit, and I saw the respect, like at a young age when you were fit.
Sure.
How people respected you. They go, oh, this guy respects himself. He's in good shape. You're going to get jobs. And then I looked at the other contractors who were sloppy or at the bar at 4 o'clock, at the end of the day, and you just saw the difference. You saw the difference of a 1-truck guy to a 30-truck guy. And the guy who has 30 trucks takes care of himself, looks good, and makes sure that he takes care of his people. Where the 1-truck guy doesn't care, he just needs enough money to get by, pay his family, and put food on the table. So
and that's it.
Yeah, so I had that at an early age, and I knew that was important because people respect you. If I look like shit, you're not going to trust me because I don't trust myself. You might trust me to do some work in your house, but you're not going to trust me to do other stuff.
Sure.
So how do you show up 100%? Is that you make sure that everything you do in life shows up the way you want yourself to show up.
So we're talking about trust. The word I used, and let me know your thoughts on this. I use it as the word I use, distraction. If I'm here trying to do a deal with you, and I'm trying to do this, and wheel and deal and do our thing and whatnot, and you could even have a 3-piece suit, but you just do like I'm not focused on your words and your mouth and your body language. I'm focused on your body.
Yeah, your 3 chins.
Right.
Yeah.
And then or a chick, like you're in a freaking triangle bikini. I'm like, it's really hard to have a conversation with you, and you have 99% of your skin showing.
Right.
Right. So it's like, but on the health side, especially for men, some people actually, my buddy Braven Grant just talked about this, how like there's a direct correlation with people being wealthy and people being fit. And he flipped it. He's like, bullshit. He's like, I know dudes that are broke as shit at the gym. He's like, the difference is stereotypically the healthier ones have discipline. Yeah. But he's like, but if you don't take action, you can go take action in the gym. You can be at the gym every single day at 5 o'clock. And then you can be stupid with your money. Yeah. You could not follow up. You could not, take the risk and grow that business. So I feel like it's a little bit of both, right? One, you have to have the discipline to do it, and it's a distraction. But I also believe you have to take massive action on a day in and day out basis, like Hormozy talks about, right? Like don't quit, don't give up, don't quit, don't give up. And most people, like I said, they hit that resistance. Like you said, the relentless part. They hit the resistance, and they're just like, I'm out.
They don't want to deal with the pain. So you're going to deal with the pain and suffering now, or you're going to deal with the pain and suffering later. You're going to deal with it at some point in your life. But later on, it's worse.
Right.
If you don't deal with it now, because you're not going to have enough money to live. You're not going to be able to do things. You're going to say no so many times in your life. And I just didn't want to say no to my kids. I didn't want to say no to people because I wasn't willing to do the thing. And I knew what it was like, going to school, being, hey, you could pick out 5 T-shirts and 2 pairs of jeans for the whole year and 1 pair of sneakers. And like, their sneakers look cool the first couple months. Then by the end of the year, look like rags.
Right.
But that's all you can afford. Make sure you don't wear the same T-shirt every Monday, because then people know you only have 5 shirts. Don't worry, they know you only have 5 shirts. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
But that's the way life was.
Crazy. So, Dan, let's talk about fitness. Talk to me about like being a dad. What I hate podcasts, events, conferences, all that stuff, even books, is I want those men and or women listening, I want them to take massive action and actionable items that they can take from this podcast and they can implement into their business or into their family, into their home. What advice would you give them from the 20 plus years of experience of being a father? What advice would you give them, actionable items that they can take home to continue to grow and strengthen their relationship with their kids?
Well, my 21-year-old son texted me this morning while I'm in the gym. First thing he said, yo, what's up? What's going on, Big G? He called me. I said, what's up, dude? Hey, I just want to let you know, Dad, I'm proud of you. No matter what's ever happened in life, with business, with money, with everything that you've ever done, you've always figured things out, and you've taught me that, and that's why I am the man I am today. All I want to tell you is just keep getting it done.
It came from your son.
My son.
Today.
This morning.
This morning. How's it make you feel?
I just wrote back, I love you, son. So it makes me feel good to know that my son knows I'm not weak. My son knows it's not okay for him to be weak. It's okay for you to be sad. It's okay for you to cry. But don't be weak, because weak men will always get stepped on.
Sure.
So my dad never taught me how to be a man. My dad suffered with addiction. My younger brother suffered with addiction. My brother was enabled for 20 years based on my dad thinking his behavior was okay because, hey, that's what I do. I never agreed with it. But no matter what I've done in the last 30 years, my dad's never been proud of me. My dad's never said it. And I don't care. And people go, you care? I'm like, I released it already. It's fine. I know you can't get something from someone who doesn't know how to give it. We expect too many things in life. So I just knew, being a father at a young age, I was a father at 23. I'm not going to do to you, when my kid was in my arms, my first son was in my arms, I was like, I'm not going to do to you what was done to me. I'm going to be the best person in your life, and I'm going to be your best friend, and I'm going to show up. And the cards my kids write me, the things my kids say to me, we'll go to Aruba. We're just in Aruba for Easter for 2 weeks, hanging out in a pool. Everyone thought we were friends because we have such a good bond. But they know where the respect line is, what they need to do.
Sure.
But we just have a good time together, and we're able to connect. I'll be back home on Friday. We'll all be at the Shore House this weekend. My kids are 21 and 20. They want to go bars, go do this, go do that. They're going to be at the Shore House because we connect, we have fun. That's what we do. They don't think twice about it. So knowing that I did that and I did that right, and my kids want to be around me, means a lot to me.
Sure.
I don't know what I did. I don't know how I did it, but I just knew I wasn't willing to sacrifice something that was missing in my life. I was going to show up absolutely different.
Yeah. So you take that pain point, you turn it into a gift for the future generation. So how important is it making space for creating experiences while growing and scaling a business?
Well, if you're doing it for your family, you're doing it for your kids, you've got to onboard them. Just like you're going to onboard a new employee. You're going to tell them the mission of the company. You're going to tell them what you're doing. You're going to tell them where you're going. But if you just go to work every day and come home with some money and some stuff and go on a vacation, but your kids really have no idea what you're doing or why you're doing it, they're not going to know who you are. But when you sit them down and be like, hey, I just launched this other company, and for the next 30, 60, 90 days, I got to put my head down. But what I'm going to do is this day, I'm going to focus on you guys. But all the other time, I really need to get things done. But if there's anything you need from me, let me know. But just understand where my focus is, but it's for this reason. Your kids would leave you alone. Why do many people on the phone, their kid come up to them and be like, Mom, Dad, one second. Because they never give their kids the time that they need. Sure. My kids don't do that to me. Your kids probably don't do that to you. Because they know that when you're there, you're present. They know what you're doing it for.
Right.
And they're not going to bother you when you're in your zone. Just like if they were on the phone with their friend, you're not going to bother them. You're going to wait till they get off because you're respecting a boundary. And if you teach that, they implement that in their lives as well.
So one of my buddies, Sean Wayland, do you know Sean?
Yeah.
So he talks about caught over taught, right? He's crazy about his kids and all that stuff. And that's been something. So my 11-year-old on his own comes up to me because I go to personal trainer 4 days a week. And he's like, Dad, I want to work out with you. Dad, I want to work out with you. I'm like, okay. And at the big box gym, because I'm only working, he's only open 4 days a week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he's not open. But I still go to the gym. So I go to big box EOS. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
So I go there, and you have to be 13 to go there. And my kid's 11. And so one of his friends, his dad lied for him to go. So his friend gets to go. But his friend's only 11 as well.
Yeah.
I was like, nope. I was like, no, we're not doing that. I was like, it's bad from day one, like, you know. And
because what are you teaching them?
Right. And I'm like, dude, I was like, you're telling them like, yeah, lie about your age. I'm like, dude, why don't you just like go get your own, build your own gym or whatever, or do something else, right?
Yeah.
So I talked to my trainer and I said, hey, I was like, what does that look like? He's like, dude, as long as he is a good listener, and as long as he does what I tell him to, one, so he doesn't get injured, right? And two, to not be a distraction to everybody else there. He's like, yeah, you can come. And he worked out with me every day that I brought him. I bring him 3 out of the 4 days. One day I don't. Just like that's I need my own little thing. So one day a week he doesn't come with me, but the other 3, at 11 years old, he's asking me to go to the gym. And dude, I started just one of the second day or third day, after he got out of the truck and went inside to go shower, I started bawling. I started bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, dude, because I'm like, how cool is it that he sees, like, I didn't pressure him, like, hey, you need to get strong, you need to get lift, you know, exact opposite of your dad, like, you know, don't be fat, this, like, no, like, hey, like, I didn't say anything, I didn't, like, motivate him. He plays football, a little bit of volleyball, but football and basketball. He's gonna be short like me, like, we're toast, we're not doing anything. Like, you do football, maybe lacrosse, baseball, you know,
got it,
unless you want to be what's his bucket from the New York Knicks, but I was, you know, but on his own, he sees me he wakes up. I'm never home when he wakes up because I'm at the gym. Every 7 days a week, I go to church, or before I go to church, I go to the gym, come home. There's enough time I make breakfast for my family. If not, we wake up, we go to church. Like Saturday, before we go, I have 6 kids. So you got like 2 or 3 basketball games, you got cheer, you got dance, you got all the shit, right? All the things. And they're like, where's Dad? Oh, he's at the gym. When he's done, he'll come help and then get us out, you know, go to our games. But he sees it over and over and over and over again, right? Literally last night, he's like, Dad, can we pray together? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, never in his life has he asked me that. And I don't know if he's seen me pray before, to be honest. But what a great moment, right? So, as we wrap up, Dan, so I'm gonna hit a couple different categories. What piece of advice would you give to somebody right now that's just in the thick of it, right? And I say thick of it, you got triggers coming in your head of like, you know, you just going through that shit the last 20 years. And you have highs and lows, but like just when you just felt, I don't know if the word's depressed or suicidal or just at a low. what advice would you give to that guy right now listening to this that's just sitting in his truck, listening to this podcast, and is just feeling like a freaking turd? Kids aren't, he's not, not on all cylinders with his kids. He and his wife are fighting. Business is a shit show. Or maybe not all three, but a combo, right? Something like that. What advice would you give to that guy?
Well, I would just say, listen, dial in right now and look at the one thing that you can actually fix. What's the one thing you can actually fix right now? And how do we focus on that, number one? Number two, all the other things, you have to let things play out. So meaning, look back in your life over the last 5, 10, 15 years and all of those episodes that probably aren't as bad as this one, that you didn't think you would get through and you got through. And think about how much time you spent having conversations in the shower about yourself, about what was going to happen, and it didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
Life is by design, but it's not your design. Your job is to participate and trust that you can get through anything and it's not going to take you out. It's okay to be knocked down. My book coming out is called Falling Your Way Uphill. I've got knocked down many times, but you can't get knocked out. Because once you get knocked out, now you're trying to survive.
Right.
But if you've got family, you've got kids, you've got a wife, you got whatever, your job is to show them strength because they're looking at what you're doing, not what you're saying. So no matter what you have to do, find that one thing that you can control it, get after it, get it done, then work on the next one. Because if not, if you sit here and spend all this time worrying and stressing about nothing changing and not changing at least one thing, you're not going to move the needle forward.
Yeah. Ed Mylett talks about the control the controllables.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
huge. What piece of advice you talk about your network marketing, thing that you did, and the relationships, the contacts, the mutual people that we have from Hannah to Michael, very, very, very connected people.
Yeah.
Right? How important is it in business, not even business, just in life in general, is it to, I call it like ABC, always be closing. My thing is on the sales side, right? But mine's ABN, always be networking.
Yeah.
How important is that in life and in business?
Association is priceless. The proximity of what's around you is the elevation of where you're going. And if you want to go bigger places, you've got to spend time with bigger people. And I think when we look at life, too many people spend time with people who have a common past, not a common future. Meaning, how many times you hear, I've been friends with this kid since high school. I have the same 5 friends since high school. Well, I could say the 5 of you all have the same life. In high school, if you were allowed to choose your friends, you would have, but you didn't. Gravity put you there. You were on the same bus. It was your neighbor. It was the kid sitting next to you in class. That became your friend. But if you look back, and I gave you 5 other people, and I said, pick, and those 5 other people were living a better life, had a healthier marriage, looked better, who would you pick today? You've got to release. If you hold on to which is small, you never get which is large. So the association and the proximity in your life will take you to the levels that you allow yourself to go.
It's funny, it was Hermosi that said, it's don't be friends with anyone from high school.
Yeah.
He said number one thing, move out of your hometown. He's like, you want to change your life? Number one thing, move out of your hometown, right? Move out of your hometown, number 1. Number 2, never talk to anybody from high school ever again. It's an extremism, but it's just like you said, right? We had our 20-year reunion last year, 2 years ago, and I was the MC. So there's probably 200 people there. We had graduating class of 700. And there was probably 200 people there. And same dudes and same thing 10 years later from the 10-year reunion.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
And they're talking about what they used to do.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about what they're doing.
I remember back in the day when you threw this, touchdown and you beat this kid up and we smoked this weed and I banged this chick and dude, that's 20. No, what are you doing now? But it's funny, the ones that are doing
Didn't show up.
Where's this guy? He lives down the street.
And
He's
I
just
never
not
went
here.
to another one.
Yeah.
I'll say I can't be here with these people.
Yeah, you just see the patterns, and I'm like,
They stink small.
You see this guy cranking and cruising. This guy's going and going and going and going. You see him, and he's just still doing this. These other ones that are just like flatline.
Yeah.
And 10 years later, they're still flatline.
Yeah.
Still making them choices, still miserable, still doing the thing. And I'm like, dang. Okay, last question. So the first question was, how did you define yourself? That first word was relentless, right? Being a business owner, you have to be relentless. It's non-negotiable, right? Especially a small business owner. What advice would you give to that guy or girl listening that's in the, like I said, in the thick of it, just going through the grind, just the day-to-day, just, the hustle? What advice would you give to them that came from that bad programming, that bad grooming, that bad scarcity mindset? What advice would you give to them? Because a lot of them are still holding on to relationships from their mom, from their dad, from family, church, school, hometown.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to them to let that go? Does that make sense?
If you allow your past to label you, you'll always be undervalued. Meaning, if you look at the cost of anything in today's world, everything in the world gets more expensive, except for the human. The human stays stuck because they allow all the things that they were told or all the limiting beliefs that they believed as a young kid to keep them stuck. Once you remove that label and you realize your worth is so much higher, you'd walk into the world a whole different way. You can't allow what you haven't done or tried to become define you from what someone told you your limit was.
Love it. I feel like that's a big thing still with people. They won't let go of certain people, certain relationships, blood. And they're like, well, it's my dad, or it's my mom, or it's my sibling, or it's my neighbor, or it's my church friend. I'm like, dude, I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, if they're not
compare it to like a car. You buy a car has a rev limiter and has a tach that goes as far as it wants to go. But I don't care what car. Give me a Hyundai Sonata. I can double the speed limit on that car. I can make that car turbo, put a supercharger in it.
Sure.
Because I don't believe that that's all that car can do. I can modify it.
Right.
So if you can modify your thinking, if you can modify your belief in yourself and trust, because when you were a kid, when you were little, when you were young, you believed you could do anything. You were going to be Spider-Man, Superman, a cop, a this, a that. But then all of a sudden, someone told you what you could be, and you stopped believing that you could be anything else. Strip that away and just watch.
Love it. What's your favorite book?
I've got many, but honestly, Outwitting the Devil.
Outwitting the Devil.
Yep.
Okay.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is one of my classic favorite books. But Outwitting the Devil, I really, really like it. But a small book for, I would say, anyone in here to read is the Coffee Bean book.
So good.
So good.
I heard him speak.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, crap. What's his name? Is he attendant? No, Auburn dude? He's an Auburn guy.
Yeah, it was
Auburn? Yeah.
Damon West.
Wes. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
John Gordon helped him push that out. I'm tight with John.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Coffee Bean. So
it's
good.
a good little book to read because it really helps you understand you've got a choice in life.
The influence.
Yep.
In the water. Podcast.
My favorite podcast?
Or it doesn't mean your favorite, but like one that you like. So mine is Grant Cardone. So I know I had never read a book, never listened to a podcast, making, I don't know, 40, 60 grand a year. And my now best friend introduced me. He's doing real estate and his big, huge, lazy boy leather chairs. I think it's 60 grand a year. He's a Beamer in the driveway, right? And his big, huge brick and mortar office, big, huge. And I'm like, hey, I was like, I'm here, you're here. Clearly, I'm missing something. I was like, what do you do? He's like, go read that book. Pulls out the 10X rule from Grant Cardone. Yeah. I was like, okay. He's like, read that book. So I read it, and then I read, the other 6, and I just turned it on. Literally, I had it on repeat for 5 years in my truck, just driving around over and over and over again to get out of that scarcity mindset. Mm-hmm. So that was mine. So for books,
my favorite podcast is Bedros Keuilian because we're very much alike.
Bedros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
just heard him speak like a month ago. Keaton Hoskins?
Yeah.
Russell?
Yeah.
He just spoke at Keaton's event.
Yeah, me and Bedros did an event together in Jersey May 1st. Just talked to him a couple of days ago. We're like the same person. Man's man, bring masculinity again.
Jacked.
Stop being bitches. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Love it.
So
Love it.
I love his podcast.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Sachkowsky, right from Jersey, and dude, Dan, thanks for being here, man. Love and appreciate it. Like the only reason why I do this podcast is to make an impact.
Yeah,
it's not to make money. It's not to promote. It's not like I don't promote any of my businesses. It's literally just to make an impact, to help people that are, I call it chapters. Like we're a couple of chapters ahead than other people, and other people are a couple of chapters ahead of us, right? And there's no win, there's no game.
Yeah.
And chapter 13 isn't better than chapter 7. It's still part of the book.
Yeah.
But our job, those that are further along, and it doesn't have to be age either. It could, like I said, experience, whatever, is go get those guys that are in chapter, the Daves of the world, right? Go get those, go help those guys. And whether they're 13 or whether they're 35 and they're just getting started, go help those guys and put your arm around them. And that's what this podcast is all about. So
awesome.
Appreciate you being here, man. Dropping in. And how can they follow you on social media?
Oh yeah, so a couple dansachkowsky.com. Also, you guys go take it. My book's launching November 20th. Fallingyourwayuphill.com. Get on the list. We'll get you a copy. And
fallingyourwayuphill.com. Okay.
Yep. And best way to get a hold of me would be Instagram. Big Dan Official on Instagram.
Love it. All right, Dan Sachkowsky, ladies and gentlemen. See you on the next one. Adios.
Appreciate it.